Hey guys! Okay, only in India. So maybe you wouldn't see it only in India, but you definitely wouldn't see it back home, and you might not see it in every country. Every country has its own thing, but these are a couple that I found that were really interesting. So the first is pigeons. So when I was in Kerala, Cochin, Kerala, there was I was pulled into the back of this temple, which is a Jain temple, and it was basically um, people started handing out bird feed to everybody in the area, and then we all gathered into this plaza, and we were all opened up the bird feed, and this priest started doing like a whole bunch of Jain prayers, and then we just started throwing the bird feed, and there happened to be tons of pigeons, and maybe that's where it came from. But tons of pigeons all over the rooftops, and then they all just in this huge, I don't know if you'd call it pack, but pigeon just flew down and started attacking the feed, and they continued praying and praying, and then they flew off, and then we threw some more, and then they flew back, and then this happened like 4 times or something. I don't know what it's for. I'm still not sure, but it was really interesting. Here's the video.
डालो सब लोग डालो चलो डालो
इधर आ प्रियांक एक किसी आवाज नहीं आ रही दिल्ली प्रियांक का बात पे रहना दिल्ली हो इधर ही खड़ा है
Okay, so the next thing is the rat temple. So in a place called Bikaner, Rajasthan, there is a temple that's completely dedicated to rats. And it's because there's a goddess whose animal essentially is rats. So they have hundreds of rats just everywhere. And they're protected in this temple. And you come there and everyone just comes here, and I actually found out about this through a friend and also through this man on this plane, and he told me the most holy, beautiful thing about this temple is you don't see dead rats. I just didn't really find it that holy, but it was really interesting. And so you'll see the pictures. There's just rats everywhere, and if they go over your feet, like if they run over your feet, that means that you're lucky. And if you see the one white rat in these hundreds of black rats, then you're very lucky, and if you make a wish, it would come true or something like that. It's crazy to see because there's just rats everywhere, and people aren't saying anything, and there's a guy sitting there, and there's a rat that just jumps over his lap, and they're all drinking from this like little plate of milk, and if you drink from that, then it's blessed milk once they've had something from it. And if they have like Indian sweets, if they take a nibble out of the sweet and you have a bite, then it's also blessed after they've taken a nibble. It was really interesting. It was a little bit weird, but it was very interesting. Still don't know the purpose of it, except for the fact that the goddess is a protector, or that's her symbol. So we tried to find out why. No idea, but it was really interesting. And so that was the rat temple. There's one in another place, but that was the most famous one in Bikaner, Rajasthan. Here's the pictures. Okay, so the last place, and this is in a couple places as well, but this was the most interesting one for me, is essentially a pregnancy temple. It's where women go when they want to get pregnant, and this is in Amritsar, Punjab. And essentially, it was like a good friend of mine described it as a playground, because you just were going you had to bend down and go through a tunnel, and then you'd come out the other side. You had to pull up your clothes because you had to walk through water, and then they were like, you came out and there were these mirrors everywhere, like it kind of reminded me of Funhouse Mirrors. So it didn't feel as much of a temple as just like a place to run around, and we were laughing that this is the process of fertility, but when we actually read about it, they were like, well, this represents the process that women go through and the holiness of it all. It was really interesting, but they were just like, you know, there'd be a big lion head and you were supposed to walk through that, and there'd be all these snakes everywhere, like big idols of snakes, and you're supposed to walk through that as well. There's pictures. I think that gives you a better example of what it was, but it was called the Mata Temple of Amritsar, Punjab. So yeah, that's really it though. I can't think of a lot of places that would have a pregnancy temple, and on top of that just have it be so maze-like, and just have you going up and down and under like these little tunnels and all that stuff. So it was a really random temple. I haven't been to one like that. So those are the 3 temples that you'd find only in India. That's it. Take care. See you later, guys. Pictures afterwards, as always. Bye.